Hey guys, welcome back. It's Melody. I'm here for my pantry tour, and I have my two favorite organizing products right here, which is the can organizer, which is my #1 used pantry organizer. If I ever organize people's pantry, I will use this for sure. I use this all the time, and you'll see it in my pantry. And then I use the OXO Pop, which pops up like that. So it kind of vacuum seals it when you press the button down. I don't know, there's just something so satisfying about pressing a button. I have my OXO scooper in here, and I don't use a scooper for all of my OXOs, but on this particular one I use rice all the time because I'm from Hawaii. So I do use a scooper in this. So some of you may have no pantry at all, not a small pantry like me. My mom has no pantry. Many houses in Hawaii don't have a pantry. And if that's the case, you especially need to be minimalist with your kitchen appliances so you can cook really efficiently. So for instance, for me, I have a small pantry. I've chosen not to bake baked goods here. And if that's too much for you, you can pick just one or two of your favorite baked goods and just cook it here, and the other ones you buy outside of the house. Baked goods require so much in the way of ingredients and equipment, and so you will really streamline your kitchen if you minimize as much baking as possible. I recently made chicken pot pies, and I don't have a rolling mat, so what I did was I just turned over my big cutting board and I just rolled it out on the back of the cutting board. And so you just need to be creative like that, and you can easily fit enough kitchenware, adequate kitchenware in a very small kitchen. The same thing with spices as well. You want to not buy every spice under the sun. Try to be creative and don't get spices that have multiple spices in them. Just try to get creative with the spices you already have. So you want to question the usefulness of every item, especially when it comes to the kitchen. Even minimalists, I think most minimalists, the majority of our items come from the kitchen. So especially when it comes to the kitchen, you want to question the usefulness. Another tip to maximize your kitchen and pantry space is to use fresh ingredients. So the first part of my pantry is in my dining area. Like most apartments, my dining area is attached adjacent to the kitchen without a wall in between. So it's the perfect place to store things that you want in plain sight. And for me, my OXO Pops are something I would really like to display because they just look so nice. And as you can see, there's some baked goods in my OXO Pops that I'm still getting through, but once they are done, I'll probably replace them with pastas. When I first finished college, my reward to myself was to buy OXO Pops. It was the thing I had been waiting for so long, and they are pricey, so here's some ways to save money. The #1 way to save money on the OXO Pop is for things that you don't use that often. For me, it would be oats and certain pastas. You can put it in a plastic baggie and put them in one OXO Pop. That way, it doesn't need to be so easy to access because you don't use it that much. You should not give a designated OXO Pop to something unless you use it all the time. Another way to save money on OXO Pops is to minimize the amount of baking you do, because most of your OXO Pops are going to have baking items. The last way to save money on OXO Pops is to not put things in OXO Pops that does not store well. This is 4 things. There's 4 things, and I've had these OXO Pops for years now. First thing I bought with my extra income, and so those 4 things are crackers, cookies, chips, and cereal. Those things will go stale in an OXO Pop, so keep that in mind. Instead of putting them in OXO Pops, I instead clip them with an OXO clip. We'll do that right now. We'll go into the kitchen. So on my pantry door, I keep OXO clips, which are these, and they're magnetic, and when they're not in use, I just pop them on here. And this magnetic board I put up with command strips so that I didn't drill any holes in the wall. On the magnetic board, I keep my shopping list, and then I keep the spices that I have in backup, because I removed all my spices from their jars, so I know if I need to look for more in backup. That's in my spice video. And then here's my Brita container, so I know when to replace the filter. And these tiny magnets are really, really strong. They're really great Christmas gifts. Mighty magnets. You can get them on Amazon or Container Store, but everybody likes them. They're very small and they take up very little of the recipe cards. On this magnetic board, I keep these are my cheat sheets, and on this cheat sheet I have things like artichoke, rice, bacon, quinoa, oats, basically anything that I want a cheat sheet for. I just immediately look here and I know how to make grilled cheese or any deviled eggs or anything that I might want to make without having a designated recipe card for each of these things. And then on this one is my cheat sheet for my 4 favorite smoothies, which I have on my blog. So I can just look at this without having to pull out recipe cards for each individual 4 smoothies. Same for the soups. These are my 5 favorite soups, and I have the cheat sheet for them right here. And then this is to make bread. So up at the top there I have tortilla chips and some bananas that I'm going to eat tonight with my sorbet bowl. And then in the back there I have some ramen noodle that you can't really see because there's just 2 left. On the second row I have canned meat in the back. Then I have packets to the left and crackers and onions I keep to the right. And then in the very center I have fruit usually and garlic in the center. So there's two containers there. One is for fruit and one is for garlic. On the third shelf I have all of my spices, which are color coded, and I made a whole video on that. So check out my spice video if you want to see how to color code your spices. But it's so easy to put back and to find each spice. On the fourth shelf I have backup soups if I don't have a fresh one on hand, and I have bread, which I use a lot to make my turkey bacon sandwiches for lunches. And then I have honey in the back, and local honey is really good, and I'm thinking of replacing my maple syrup with just local honey for my waffles because I don't even think I need maple syrup anymore. I really like honey. Another tip is you can make or buy your bread, and then you can freeze a couple of loaves, so you don't have to go to the store every so often to get new loaves and new loaves. You can just pop them in your little toaster, and then you can have fresh bread all the time. The fifth row is all of my canned goods, and on this side I just used diced tomatoes. On this side is the other tomato products like tomato paste, rotel, tomato sauce, any tomato product I need I keep it in the middle. And then on this side I just keep beans, green beans, and olives. So that's how I organized those 3. At the very bottom I keep all of my liquids, so chicken broth, almond milk, tomato juice, oil, vegetable oil, and then these 2 are, one of them soy sauce and one of them I use to make my homemade deodorant and alcohol that I use. So all of the liquids I keep right here. So here's an overview. I have my magnetic things on the door, then I have dry goods up here, packets, canned meat, crackers, fruit, veg, spices, soup, bread, honey, other canned goods, and then liquids. Because I had extra space next to the stove to put more things, I decided to put bottled water, which I rarely use, paper towels, and extra canned goods that I don't use regularly, but they're just backup. If I didn't have this clear space, if I had a lot more pots and pans, then what would happen is that I wouldn't be able to buy things in bulk, especially canned goods, and so I'd end up spending more money. So I'm already saving money just by being minimalist because I have this extra space to keep the backup items. So thank you for watching my pantry video. Next week we're going to have a freezer fridge tour, and then the week after that I'm going to give you a giant pantry tour because my aunt has a huge pantry that I just organized. So in case you have one of those country pantries, lots of kids, then I have a perfect way to get the snacks easily, things like that, because obviously my pantry is for an apartment living. So make sure you subscribe for more minimalism, health, and organization videos, and I'll see you in the very next video.